Charlotte was a beautiful woman from a rich family, but her life was not as perfect as it seemed. She had married a man she loved, but after a few years, their marriage became dull and boring. She had 3 children, a son named Oliver and 2 daughters. Even though Charlotte had everything money could buy, something was missing in her life. She didn't feel much love for her children, even though she tried to act as if she did. Her husband, who worked in an office, wasn't very successful. He didn't make much money, and he always struggled to provide for his family. Charlotte didn't know how to help either, so they were always running low on money. Although Charlotte's family faced money problems, they lived in a beautiful house with a lovely garden. The house was filled with expensive furniture and nice things. The children had all the toys they could wish for, but something about their life still felt empty. The house was quiet, and sometimes Charlotte could hear strange sounds. It was as if the walls were whispering, saying, "We need more money." One day, Oliver, the young boy, asked his mother, "Why don't we have a car, Mother?" Charlotte replied coldly, "Because we don't have enough money." Oliver was confused. "But why are we poor, Mother?" he asked. Charlotte looked at him and said, "Your father is unlucky. He can't make much money." Oliver thought about it and asked, "Is luck the same as money?" Charlotte answered, "No, luck brings money. If you're lucky, you'll always have money. If you're rich, you can lose it, but if you're lucky, you'll always find more." Oliver nodded, trying to understand. "So father is unlucky?" he asked. "Yes," said Charlotte sadly. "Your father is unlucky." Oliver, however, thought that he was lucky, unlike his father. He spent hours riding his rocking horse in the nursery, pretending it would take him to a place where luck lived. He would hit the horse on the neck, hoping it would bring him good fortune. One day, Charlotte's brother, Henry Wallace, came to visit. He saw Oliver riding his rocking horse and asked, "Is your horse going to win a race, little jockey?" Oliver replied, "He doesn't just have one name. Last week he was called Sansovino." Henry was surprised because Sansovino was the name of a famous horse that had won a big race. "How do you know that name?" Henry asked. Oliver answered, "George talks about horses with me." George was the gardener who had worked for Henry during the war. Henry was curious about Oliver's interest in horse racing, so he spoke to George. George confirmed that Oliver loved horses and knew a lot about them. One day, Henry asked Oliver if he had ever bet on a horse. Oliver said, "Yes, I bet on horses. I think Daffodil will win the next big race." Henry didn't believe him, but he decided to go to the race course to see for himself. To his surprise, Daffodil won the race, and Oliver won 1/400. Oliver then suggested that he, Henry, and George should become partners in betting on horses. "But we must never tell anyone about the winners," Oliver said. Henry agreed to the plan, though he was unsure about it. As the months passed, Oliver kept winning bets, making a fortune with his lucky picks. He told Henry that he wanted to use the money to help his mother. She had always said she was unlucky because her husband was unlucky. Oliver wanted to prove that he could bring luck to their family. With the money he had won, Oliver gave $5,000 to Henry. Henry arranged for a lawyer to tell Charlotte about a distant relative who had left her $5,000. Charlotte was amazed and happy. However, despite receiving the money, her life didn't change much. She continued to spend it on expensive things for the house. The strange whispering in the house grew louder. Charlotte became more worried about Oliver. One day, Oliver bet 1,000 on a horse named Lively Spark. The horse won the race, and Oliver earned $10,000. His Uncle Henry also won $2,000. Oliver was pleased, but he felt like something wasn't right. The whispers in the house seemed to be demanding more money. The house started to feel uncomfortable, filled with pressure and unease. Oliver became obsessed with betting on horses. He was no longer sure which horse would win, and his luck began to fade. He lost some bets, making him anxious. The whispers in the house grew louder and more urgent, repeating, "There must be more money. There must be more money." It was as if nothing could stop the need for more wealth. The once peaceful home had become a place of worry and fear. One night, just before the Derby, Charlotte suggested that Oliver take a holiday to relax. But Oliver refused, saying, "I can't leave before the Derby. I have to know which horse will win." He was determined to find the winning horse. He believed his rocking horse was the key to his luck. As Oliver stared at the horse, he felt an overwhelming desire to know which horse would win the next race. He became consumed by this thought and couldn't focus on anything else. The night before the Derby, Charlotte called home to check on Oliver. The governess said Oliver was fine, but when Charlotte returned home later, she heard strange sounds coming from Oliver's room. Her heart raced as she slowly opened the door. There, she saw Oliver riding his rocking horse, shouting, "Malabar! Malabar will win!" Charlotte was scared and rushed to his side. Oliver was pale and weak, his body trembling. "I knew Malabar would win," he whispered, his voice faint. The next day, Henry placed a bet on Malabar, just as Oliver had suggested. Malabar won the race, and Oliver made $80,000. Henry was thrilled with the money, but Oliver's condition worsened. Oliver lay in his bed, muttering about the rocking horse and the lucky horses he had picked. He kept repeating, "I knew Malabar would win. I'm lucky, Mother, aren't I?" Charlotte, however, didn't know what to think. The money had come, but her son was fading away. Oliver's health continued to decline. His body grew weaker every day. Henry came to visit and, seeing Oliver's condition, realized the price they had paid for their winnings. The obsession with luck and money had taken a toll on the young boy. Henry took Charlotte aside and said, "You've gained 80,000, but you've lost your son. Maybe it's better that he's gone. At least he's at peace now. He won't have to ride that horse anymore." Oliver died shortly after. The money had come, but it was no longer important. Charlotte realized that no amount of wealth could replace the love and happiness that had been lost in the chase for luck. The whispers in the house stopped, but they left a painful reminder of the high cost of trying to find happiness in money. Charlotte's heart was heavy as she mourned the loss of her son, and she finally understood that luck is not the key to happiness.